The Senate will be attentive to the clerk.
Thank you, Madam President. The Committee on Education, to which was referred Senate Bill 434, an act relative to regulation of public school materials. Having considered the same, the committee recommends that the bill is ought to pass with an amendment by a vote of 3-1. Senator Abbas for the committee.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that SB 434 ought to pass with amendment. As amended, Senate Bill 434 requires local school districts to adopt and publicly post policies describing materials authorized for use by students in the district and provide districts with a uniform procedure to address complaints alleging that material is harmful or age inappropriate for the use in the district schools. This bill establishes a clear and consistent timeline to ensure that concerns are addressed and not ignored. SB 434 is an essential step in upholding this body's long-standing commitment to protecting parental rights and ensuring that no child is exposed to materials determined to be harmful to minors. I respectfully ask that you support the Senate Education Committee's recommendation on the motion of ought to pass with amendment of SB 434. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator. The bill is now on second reading. The first order of business is the committee amendment. Is there any discussion on the committee amendment? Okay, seeing none. Are you ready for the question? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say no. No. The ayes have it, and the committee amendment is adopted. The bill is on second reading. Is there any further discussion or amendment? Senator Altshuler, you're recognized to introduce your floor amendment.
Okey-doke. Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Madam President. I offer floor amendment 2026-0826S to Senate Bill 434 to celebrate the curiosity and protect the quest for knowledge supported by Granite State Public School Libraries. While my district can claim the first public school, the Center School of Hampton, established in 1647, the honor of the first public school with a library belongs to the Newt Public School in Milton. They established a public school library in 1894 with an impressive 900 volumes of materials. So we can all probably agree that public school libraries are vital to the knowledge base and growth of our communities. The materials in them are not all celebrated equally, though. Limiting access to, banning, or all-out destroying materials that are a perceived threat to the power structure is a part of our human history. These types of actions have had a concerning exponential growth in America. And so I offer this amendment to explicitly recognize libraries as centers for voluntary inquiry that promote intellectual freedom and democracy. This amendment prevents censorship based solely on disagreement with ideas while still allowing for age-appropriate content curation. And this amendment ensures diverse viewpoints are represented in public school library collections with protection from both criminal and civil liability for good faith actors. It allows professionals to make decisions based on their expertise rather than the fear of litigation, and enables them to maintain diverse collections without self-censoring due to potential legal threats. The amendment creates a framework where professional decisions are given appropriate weight in the review process. Librarians have a seat at the table in review committees, and their expertise is integrated into the decision-making process. Personal opinions cannot override professional standards without documented justification. And this has a particularly contemporary relevance, important today, because library professionals increasingly face organized challenges to their expertise. Social media can amplify these harassment campaigns, and crowdsourced opinions sometimes try to replace professional judgment. The cost of legal defense can be used as a weapon against individual professionals. This amendment recognizes that community input is valuable It must also be balanced with professional expertise, particularly in an era where expertise itself is often under attack. The balance helps ensure that libraries can continue to serve their essential role in maintaining an informed and literate community. I ask for your support for Floor Amendment 0826S to support our professional librarians under Senate Bill 434. Thank you, Madam President.
The question is on the adoption of Floor Amendment 0826. Are you ready for the question? All in favor say aye. All opposed say no. No. The noes have it, and the floor amendment has failed. The bill is still on second reading and open for further discussion and amendments. Senator Prentice?
Thank you, Madam President. Colleagues, I rise in opposition to the ought-to-pass motion. Just a few things simply. In the hearing, first of all, in the hearing, I believe it was the New Hampshire School Board Association came before us and brought copies of policies already adopted, if not by all of our districts that were represented on the committee, by a majority of the district, demonstrating to us that schools, school administrators, and school boards had already worked to take or put in place a policy that addressed concerns that have arisen. Number two, I wanted to say that what I believe is okay or for my child to read might not be okay for another child to read. And why should I be making decisions based on my belief for all the children in that school system? That is the danger that we're creeping up on, is that one parent is going to be potentially dictating what books are available for all students. And I trust the school librarians, I trust the school boards, I trust the principals, that many of which have already worked on to develop policies to protect those, basically protect families, protect the children, and allow everybody to have access, well, not everybody, basically protect the First Amendment rights. What I believe is okay for my child to read, again, might not be okay for somebody else, but I shouldn't be dictating that for everybody. Many of these school boards have already made these decisions. I don't understand why we need to continue to get in the way of this. We should let our librarians and our schools and our school boards continue to do the work that they're already doing. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator. The bill is still on second reading and open for further discussion. Senator Abbas wishes to speak.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise in support of the committee's recommendation of ought to pass with the amendment. So all this does is create a process. And it's not the parents that are making any final decision here. All a parent is doing is raising the issue to the superintendent or their designee. That's what the amendment did. It replaced principal with superintendent. And at that point, the superintendent makes a determination whether it's age inappropriate or if it's material that's harmful to minors, which is referring to pornography. So I think that's pretty straightforward. That's defined in a different RSA. And they make the determination. The superintendent makes the determination if that material should be removed or not. If that superintendent makes the determination the material will remain in the library, the next part of the process is the parent may, if they choose so, appeal that to the school board and present their case to the school board. It is a process, a uniform process. There's many schools have already done this in different ways. However, where you hear issues come up is that some schools do it one way, they do it another way. When they have training seminars and there's recommendation, advisory opinions from the Department of Education, having a uniform process, there's a benefit to do that. But the parents don't get to pick. That's coming out of the library. That's not unilaterally done that way. It's just a process. That decision still remains in the academic institution. They make the final determination. And I think having a uniform process will create more clarity among schools throughout the entire state I think it's a good process. I think it's a very reasonable process, and it's very straightforward. So please support me, join the committee's recommendation of ought to pass with amendment. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Prentice has a question of,
My colleague from District 24.
Hi.
Hi, would you take my question?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay, go. Thank you.
Sorry.
My question is, if one parent raises a concern that triggers a process, could that outcoming decision affect the ability of all children in that school, regardless of their parents' feelings, to read that book?
Yes, it takes it away from everybody.
Follow-up?
follow-up?
Thank you, Madam President. My colleague from District 24, so is it your belief that parent by parent should be able to make a decision about what reading materials their children have access to in the school systems, not another parent?
Yes, I wholeheartedly believe that parents who are part of a larger school community, if they are uncomfortable with some of the material, they already have the ability to remove their child from that discussion. They already have the ability to ask for a different text. They already have the ability to talk to their teacher or librarian about an alternative. It's not necessary to punish the entire class and keep material away from them because one parent wants it away from their child. Parent your own child.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President.
The question is still on the second reading and open for further discussion and amendment. Senator Sullivan would like to ask.
I have a question of my colleague in District 22.
Okay.
Thank you for taking my question. Is it true that parents do not have the opportunity to review library materials until they're in the children's hands in school?
No reasonable opportunity, because in fairness to the schools, there's thousands and thousands of books in there, so I don't even expect them to go through all the books, and that's why having this process is important, and let the school make a determination when a concern is raised to them. The school makes a decision whether something can stay, and if anyone's unhappy with the decision the superintendent made, they should take it up with the superintendent's office. Or if the school board overturned the superintendent, they should take it up with the school board.
Thank you. Follow up, please.
Follow-up?
Thank you. Does anything in this bill prohibit parents from purchasing reading materials for their own children from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, or to take them to the public library to get the materials that they think are appropriate?
Nothing.
Thank you.
Okay, Senator Lang has a question of,
The senator from District 22. Thank you for taking my question. So a couple times now I've heard that it's a parent making a decision to remove a book from a library at a school. And as my understanding, my question is if I'm accurate, is that that's not the actual, they put a request in, but it's an academic professional. Could be the librarian if that's who the superintendent designates, but it's an academic professional who makes that decision. And if they decide it is inappropriate, it would be removed?
Yes, unless they appeal to the school board,
Correct.
then it's the school board making that decision.
Thank you.
okay, Senator Fenton is recognized for a question of,
My colleague from District 24, she'll take my question.
Yes.
Would you believe, as a parent of a son in public schools, that I am allowed to review what is in his library? And I've been in his library, and I've not seen anything inappropriate.
I absolutely believe that and had the same experience when my children went to public school and I worked in the public school. Any parent can go check out the library and ask the librarian what the age-appropriate range is for their child.
Thank you.
okay, Senator Prentice has a question for,
My colleague from District 24.
Yes.
Thank you for
Yes.
taking my question. Is this process initiated by one parent, or say one or more parents, triggering a concern for this policy then to be taken up and rolled all the way through by a school board?
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
it is.
so follow up. So one parent could influence the entire availability of one particular book.
As written here? Yes, correct.
Thank you.
Okay, we are still on second reading, and the bill is open for further discussion and amendment. Senator Altschiller would like to speak for the second time.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise in opposition of this motion of ought to pass as amended. Senate Bill 434 is another book banning bill. We are less than a year removed from Governor Ayod's veto of House Bill 324, and here we are again. The proper place for the regulation of materials is between parents and their children. This bill creates a pathway for one set of parents to dictate what materials other people's children can access in a public school that serves a lot of kids. Schools already have policies to address this. We heard this in committee. School librarians and school boards processes to deny access to materials to certain children that already exist. Current policy already states that parents can review any school materials and excuse their children from subjects like health and sexual education. Any parent who has concerns can already go to their school public library. They already can speak with their teachers. They already can ask to see the curriculum. This is all available to every parent. This bill is entirely too vague. The terms age appropriate and otherwise offensive are really hard to define. What is age appropriate and otherwise offensive varies from family to family. Who is one parent to dictate what is appropriate to somebody else's children? It's also unfortunate that many of the books being threatened with bans deal with real issues. Books that deal with LGBTQ+ issues, race, and puberty are all targets for book bans more than others. If a parent decides that these issues should be kept away from their children, that's their decision. They should not be making that decision for other families. This bill excludes the voices of the parents who believed that the challenged material is appropriate. They're excluded from this conversation. Granite Staters weighed in on this bill. 10 people supported it, and 470 signed in opposition. This bill flagrantly disregards First Amendment rights granted to students by the United States Supreme Court. It steamrolls over existing rules and processes of our local school boards. It opens the door for viewpoint-based decisions to be binding on other families. This bill deals with a process without regard for its impact and consequences to the larger school community. The proposed timeline was only discussed in terms of when a single book is challenged. What happens when more than one book receives a complaint at a time? Schools are definitely going to struggle to meet these deadlines. That is time, effort, all spent on proceedings that this bill prescribes instead of focusing on what matters, teaching the children. The children, the students, and their access to educational materials is all that should matter in this discussion. I ask for a no vote on the motion of ought to pass as amended so that a new motion may be made. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator. Again, the bill is still on second reading and open for further discussion and amendment. Senator Abbas is recognized to speak for a second time.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to hopefully close this out and continue to support the ought to pass as amended. No parents are banning any books, not a single book. I trust the superintendents, or whoever they believe they designate that authority to make the determination of if they find something that's age inappropriate, that it be removed from the library. I trust the school will be able to do that. I think they do a good job of determining what is not age appropriate. They should be able to figure that out because they have a bunch of students in there who are minors. I think they can make that determination by looking at it. So join me, support the committee's recommendation of ought to pass as amended. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. The bill is still on second reading and open for further discussion and amendment. Okay.
Madam President, may I have a roll call?
Okay, a roll call has been requested by Senator Altschiller, seconded by Senator Ennis. The question is on the adoption of ought to pass as amended on Senate Bill 434. The Senate will pay attention to the clerk.
Senator Rochefort.
Yes.
Senator Lang.
Yes.
Senator McConkey.
Yes.
Senator Waters.
No.
Senator Prentice.
No.
Senator Gray.
Yes.
Senator Innes.
Yes.
Senator Ward.
Yes.
Senator Rishardi.
Yes.
Senator Fenton.
No.
Senator McGee.
Yes.
Senator Avard.
Yes.
Senator Rosenwald.
No.
Senator Reardon. Senator Murphy.
Yes.
Senator Pearl.
Yep.
Senator Sullivan.
Yes.
Senator Birdsell.
Yes.
Senator Long. No. Senator Perkins Cuoca.
No.
Senator Abbas.
Yes.
Senator Gannon.
Yes.
Senator Altschiller.
No.
And Senator Carson.
Yes.
Whoops. Sorry
The
about
ayes
that.
have it for a total of 16 to 8, and the bill is ordered to third reading. At this point, I'm going to put the Senate in recess for lunch and ask all of you to be back here by 1 o'clock. Don't, what? Yes, I know. Lunch, as you should know, is available down in room 100. So I hope to see you all there. See you at 1.